So we decided to do this in an interview format, but we'll definitely be opening it up so that you all can ask questions as well. So, first of all, let's just start with what happened. Please tell us the story of what happened. Well, actually, should I show
I'll,
those photos? You want me to
well,
show those photos?
let me kind of give a little bit of background.
Okay.
It was right before Memorial's Day, and I was going to Myrtle Beach to visit my daughter and her new husband. She had just got married, so we were. I was meeting them at the beach, and then I was going to go. I went back to her house to watch her son while they went on their honeymoon. So I'm in Florida, and I've been dry. I moved here almost 2 years ago, and I've been driving back and forth from Florida to Maryland. That's where my daughter lives, and several times, I'd say, since I moved here, minimum 12 to 15 times I've made that trip back and forth from Florida to Maryland and back. So as I said, it was Memorial Day weekend. Well, actually, the week before Memorial Day. And we were meeting at the beach. We had a good time. And then it was time to go back. And we went to Maryland. I was in Maryland at the time. And I was there for about a week with my grandson while they were on their honeymoon. And so it was time for me to drop my grandson off at his dad's house, my other son-in-law. And I dropped him off on Sunday, and I took a couple of days before getting on the road because I needed to pack up some things. So I packed up everything. That was Sunday, Monday. I gave myself a day to rest. And so Tuesday, I got up just like I usually do. For my road trips, I like to leave early. So I probably got on the road between 4 and 4:30 a.m. And I'm always trying to go early because there is horrible traffic in Virginia. So that is what I'm always trying to get through Virginia. And I got through Virginia with no problems. And I was so excited. I hit North Carolina, and I guess it was, a little after 5. And, no, it had to be a little early, a little later because the sun started coming up. I opened my sunroof. Let me mention that this is a brand new car. I had just bought the car 18 months before, brought it brand new, 11 miles on it. That was it when I bought it. So this is a brand spanking new car, but it was 18 months old. And I opened my sunroof, as the sun came up, and, it was a nice breeze, beautiful. So I get into North Carolina, and, still no traffic. And I'm just like in heaven because that's my happy place, no traffic. It was approaching 7 o'clock, and I was thinking maybe I need to, stop and think about gassing up, use the bathroom, and get some coffee. So I was deciding where to stop. And the next thing I know, I regained consciousness in an ambulance. And that's where it began. Now, Fiona, if you want to ask the questions from there, I just wanted to give the background to how I got that far.
Yeah, can you talk a little bit about once you recovered? And I want to show the photos now, actually, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So, everyone, this is MsFAITH's car. This is why I had to have her here, because MsFAITH walked away from this to come here with us today to share her story. Like, this is incredible. Absolutely incredible, which is why, when I came to the morning stretch group and I was asking you to think of her, this is what I could have only, I didn't want to think the worst, but I was thinking, wow, if this is what happened, I can only imagine the condition that she's in. So talk a little bit about, what happened once you regained consciousness.
I was in the ambulance, and some I thought it was the ambulance attendant, but later I learned that it was one of the police officers was saying that when they got there, I was walking around my car that was on fire, saying, looking for my grandson. And I said, my car is on fire? He said, oh yeah, it's gone. And I lost consciousness again at that point. The next time I regained consciousness, I was in the emergency room. They were cutting my clothes off of me, and I'm looking around like, what is going on? And they take me and put me in the scan. They do the CAT scan and all these scans. And so when they're rolling me back, and before they take me in the room, I hear the doctor saying, we can give her fentanyl. And I said, what? No, absolutely not. You will not give me anything like that. And so the nurse said, we can give you morphine. And I was like, no, I don't need that. I'm not in that kind of pain. Well, they wheeled me into the emergency room, and another police officer was standing there. And he said, Miss Bennett, you're very lucky. The truck driver says you hit him on the left corner as you were trying to pass him, and you did a fishtail in the middle of the highway. This was on I-95. And then you hit the curb into the median and drove into trees where you hit trees and your car caught on fire. The Pepsi truck driver was able to pull over and ran across the freeway and pulled you out of the burning car. It was just unfathomable. It was like he was talking to me, but I was like, this can't be real. And I'm hearing him, and kind of like was Charlie. Remember Charlie Brown when somebody's talking to him and it's going womp 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 womp. That's how I felt. I felt like he was talking, but it was going womp womp. And then he told me. He said, "Well, you're going to have a court date. Your court date is in September, and I'll leave it over here. The information on, how to, where it's at and everything." And he said, you may want to call that. He said, I left you also the form with your information and the Pepsi truck driver's information. You may want to call him and thank him, for pulling you out of that car. And so he left, and then I later was told that before he left, he told me that they had contacted my children. They had reached my son, I guess both of my sons. And he said, your son is on his way. And I was like, what? And so, he left, and I'm just laying there trying to process all of this. And so the doctor comes in, and they tell me that, they got to I tell them that I'm hurting. I tell them specifically the places I was hurting. And they said, well, the CAT scans were good. They had done a scan from my head down to my knees. And they said the scans were good. You know, I did have the where I had a gash where they put staples. They had to staple it back together. And that was all he said that they found. And I was like, but I'm hurting really bad, my legs. And so then they took me for x-rays. And then that's when they found that I had a broken fibula on my right leg. And on my left leg, I had broken a part of the bone off in my ankle. So the original scan they did of the top part didn't catch that. And I told them, but my hand is still hurting. And so they took x-rays of my hand and found out that I had broke my thumb as well. So I go back, they take me back to emergency, and I'm laying there, you know, just still trying to process all of this, you know, and the fact that the police officer said it was my fault. So my son and his new wife, they fly in from Tampa. And I'm like, oh my God, this is costing people, you know, that's how my mind is working. Oh my God, this is, you know, people don't have money to just jump on a plane. You know how much when you're planning, how much a plane can be, and just to jump on it. And they contacted my daughter who was on her honeymoon. They flew back early from the honeymoon. So I'm just crying. I'm just crying, thinking about what I've caused.
Take your time. Take your time with it.
And still tried to process that I had caused the accident. As I told you, I still wake up. I still have a hard time sleeping. And just yesterday morning, the exact same thing. Physically, I am healing. I am healing. I feel so much better. But emotionally, mentally, it's going to be a while. I've had people ask me, are you getting a new car? And I'm like, I can't even imagine getting behind the wheel. Because I'm such an early morning person, and it was absolutely no reason for me to not see a 18-wheeler. There was no traffic on the road at all with me. And for me to cause all that, what you see, destruction on my brand new car, cause all this, I don't know when I'll be able to drive again. It won't be very soon.
You're getting some love in the chat, just so you know. God bless you, Miss Faith. You are here for a reason. It's okay, Miss Faith. It's okay. Wanted to share that with you.
Oh, thank you.
So tell us a little bit of, you started to talk about the emotional aspect of just trying to grasp all of this. And you said, how was it in the beginning compared to where you are now? Because we talked a little bit about how you felt right after the accident.
Well, with all of that emotion going on, trying to wrap my head around what I had caused, I was at a place where I was like, God, why did you wake me up? Why couldn't I just come be with you? I was like, I'm good. I would have been good with sitting by your feet. But he had something else in mind for me. Of course, I didn't realize it. All I could see at the time was I don't have health insurance. I had car insurance. You know, my car insurance paid for the car, my car, the little damage they said I did to the 18-wheeler, even the tree. I got charged for the tree that I hit and that burned, caused my car to burn up. My insurance paid for all of that. However, I didn't have PIP, personal injury protection. So it didn't cover any of the hospitalization. And when, just them, they put me in a private room and I was like, oh my God, how am I going to afford this? I was like, no, I got to get out of here. And they were like, well, you can't leave just yet. You got a broken leg, a broken leg, a broken ankle, and a broken thumb. You can't just leave. And I was like, but I can't afford this. I can't afford this. And I think they thought I had and I didn't know at the time that I didn't have the PIP, personal injury protection. I didn't know. I just knew I didn't have health insurance. So I thought that would have been what covered the hospitalization, my own health insurance. And since I'm not working, I hadn't been working, that's what I was thinking. But later I found out that if I would have had the PIP insurance, that would have taken care of the hospital, but I didn't. So yes, I was emotionally distraught, definitely emotionally distraught, and just wishing that I would go to sleep and not wake up. That the first 2 weeks, oh my God, every day I was like, how am I going to get through this? But lo and behold, I belong to a nonprofit organization, the Black Achievement Fund, and one of my sisters called me and she said, MsFAITH, you got a testimony. And that shook me. That shook me because that was the exact thing I had told my mother after she had a heart attack and 3 weeks later had a massive stroke. And she lived through both of them and went through a lot of therapy. She went through a lot. But once she was better, I kept saying, Mommy, this is your testimony and you have to share it. You have to let other people know that have heart disease and, high blood pressure. You have to let them know what could happen if they don't take care of themselves. But her quality of life had dwindled so after the stroke that she had a hard time speaking. The type of stroke she had a left brain stroke, and it affected her right side as well as her speech. But it was her cognitive ability. She couldn't say what she was thinking. She would be thinking one thing, and then when she spoke, it would be totally not what she was thinking. But I told her, I said, somehow you have to share your testimony. That was 20 years ago. And there I laid in that bed, and PJ said, MsFAITH, you got a testimony to share. And all of my waddling in my why am I still here? It started to dissipate. And I realized God wasn't done with me yet. So I definitely have a reason to be here. I got that testimony.
Yes, indeed. And we are so honored to have you here sharing this story with us. So you said that getting that call from your friend helped you to get out of that place. Were there other things that you did to motivate yourself? And then can you describe the routine that you eventually got into to
Well,
start your healing? Yeah.
once I was, as when they were getting ready to release me from the hospital, they gave me physical therapy exercises to do at home. And I was like, okay, I got this. So we're on our way back to Maryland, and I could feel anxiety, this anxiety welling up in me just being on that highway because we had to take Interstate 95 back. And it was just being on that highway was just like, oh my God, for 9 more hours. And we got home, and my daughter wanted me to stay with her. My two younger daughters, they drove in to bring me back to Florida. And so she wanted me to stay with her and let her take care of me. But, she's got small children, and her husband both work from home. So I didn't want to be in the way. So I said, no, I'll make it. Get me back home. When I got back home, I live in a 55 plus community. I had called them to let them know what happened to me because my daughters had gone over to try to get some clothes for me. And I told them, I said, I broke my legs, so I need a walker. When I got there, they had a walker for me. So here I am with 2 boots on and a splint on my arm, and I'm on the walker, trying to get through. So it was my accountability team. I have like amazing accountability team. They were there every morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. We were working out. We were doing my physical therapy exercises. They were there with me. I tell you, whew, they got me going. They kept me going as well. They kept me going. So that's how I got started.
That's awesome. So tell us a little more about your routine. What were you doing?
Well, why don't you show them on the video?
Yeah.
I think one of the videos I have what I was doing.
Okay. Hold on. Let me get that ready.
Yeah, the first one was the first exercises I did probably about week 4, maybe. I had, at that point, I had the staples removed, and I was going to the fitness room in my complex. We have a fitness room. So I was there, and I would go down and do my physical therapy. And that's me wearing in my boots at that time. Those things are heavy. I don't know if any of you have ever had to wear them, but they are very heavy. I know they have to weigh at least 5 to 7 pounds each. And that's what I was doing for the first couple of weeks, just going through. And I would do it a couple times a day. I would do it in the morning with my fitness group, and then in the evening. You're muted.
Sorry. By the way, folks, I am going to be saving the chat for Miss Faith because there's so much love being poured into this chat that I have to share this with you. So, folks, if you want to send Miss Faith a message, please do put it in the chat and I'll make sure that she receives it. All righty. So that's your fitness routine. Was there more? Like what else were you doing in order to truly heal?
I started, well, of course, diet. I wasn't doing so well. Being laid up for weeks at a time, I was kind of binging, eating out of control. And still, even though I was accepting that I had a purpose, I have this testimony, I still was somewhat waddling in, oh my God, what am I going to do? How am I going to, handle these things? So that's where the binging and eating out of control was coming from. I couldn't go very many places. So I was in the apartment most of the time. A couple of people, took me to the store because my daughter, the daughter that drives, she lives across town. And like I said, she has 4 children and she has a special needs son. So I wasn't, trying to pull her all the time. But as the weeks went by, I added a little bit more activity to my exercise. And that's the next video she has where I'm doing a little bit more. And I think that might have been the next video is probably about week 5 or 6, where I am challenging myself to even do more. You have that video ready?
I'll get ready to pull that up now. All righty.
Hi. Yes, Miss Faith, and I am so excited because food is off. I got one food off, still got this one, but at least I got one off. So I'm excited. This is week 4, almost at week 5. So, yeah. No, I'm sorry. This is week 5. Okay, I'm losing it. I'm still exercising. Unfortunately, I was able to get out of this for a while, and then I happened to do one of these to get up out of the tub, and oh, did the pain shoot up my arm. So I'm going to keep it on a little bit longer just for a little more support until I remember not to, push. I don't want to re-injure it. But anyway, life is looking a lot better. We can do this, okay? So today I'm still doing the up and out, up and out, but I'm also adding a curl with it. I'm going to do a curl, and then I'll do one from here up. And I'm on the ball. I love being on the ball. You can roll around. So, okay, just real quick, just a few. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you saw last week we go up and out, up and out, up and out. That's 3, up and out. That's 4, and out. That's 5. Okay.
Awesome. So we see the amazing progress that you're making, right? So tell us, what words of advice would you give to others who have been through something horrific and need to start or continue their recovery or their healing?
1, get yourself an accountability team like I got. It's like they know when I'm at my lowest point, they'll just call, hey, Miss Faith, and they'll share something. How do you handle this? What about that? And, of course, I drop what my worries and like help them. Um, in general, with any type of recovery, you definitely have to have a support team, whether you're recovering from an car accident, a bad marriage. I've even recovered from that. I'm divorced, so a bad marriage, um, goodness, uh, alcohol, drugs, whatever you're recovering from, you definitely have to have a support system. And mine is my family and my accountability team, my Black Achievement family as well. I mean, they call me. They call me. How you doing, Miss Faith? You all right? We're missing you. So that is really big, really big. They're not there when I wake up in the middle of the night and have these issues sleeping, but it helps. It helps. And then you definitely, whatever you're recovering from, get professional help. Again, I don't have health insurance, but there's a senior center where they offer some support, some services, and so I've been able to get a little help that way as well. But that is the biggest thing. And then just last night, my daughter texts me this little puppy, and she says, "Mommy, you need the little puppy for emotional stability." And I was like, "Yeah, but then they're going to charge me at the apartment complex. It's like, I think it's either $200 or $400 deposit, plus they charge monthly for the animal." So yes, I would love to have that, type of thing as well. But yeah, that's big. You've got to definitely have that accountability family. You've got to, and if you have faith, if you have, whatever you believe in, reach out to your spiritual family, or else you probably won't make it. And I'm sure there are some people in here that have done some recovery, even if it was just from a bad relationship, and know that those things are very important, very important.
No, thank you so much. I can't wait for you to read all the messages that have been shared in the chat. I'm going to download them and present them to you. And my gosh. But in the meantime, thank you so much for sharing your story. We will open it up to questions. If anybody has a question, you can raise your hand or you can post it in the chat. Or if you just want to offer any words to Miss Faith. So I'm going to allow.
While they're doing that, show them my most recent exercise from this weekend. So they'll know that I'm really good.
Yes. I'm also, in the meantime, going to allow you all to, well, actually, before I do that, I'll show the video and then everybody will be able to unmute. How can she lose? Oh, sorry about that. How can she lose? Awesome.
Yes. Now that was just Saturday. So I am definitely on the road to recovery. I am doing a lot better. When you see me with my hoops and when I'm out there walking, I am good.